Major League Rugby is scrapping TMO, sort of. On the 5th of March, 2026, a couple of days ago at the time of recording, Major League Rugby announced that they were introducing a referee review system, or RRS, which will replace the traditional TMO, television match official, that's pretty commonplace. So, this video is going to break down exactly why that change is happening, what RRS is, and how it might work in practice across the world, as well as some concerns I have and potential issues, but really just kind of explaining what this new referee review system actually is. Welcome back to the NA Rugby DB YouTube channel. My name is James Dealey. I run the MLR Stats social stream on Instagram, Twitter, all these kind of things, as well as narugbydb.com, my website, which I think I'm fairly confident in saying is the most complete set of Major League Rugby data available anywhere online entirely for free. If you want to go and check that out, there will be a link in the description. This is the first video I've actually made in over 6 months, I think. I think my last video was about the withdrawal of the Miami Sharks, pretty early in the eventful off-season we've had. Didn't make a video for all the other withdrawals we had, as I didn't really think there was much point after the tumultuous, crazy, cataclysmic off-season we've just had. However, we have just gone through that. It is in the past now. We're looking forward to the 2026 campaign, which I think is going to be fantastic, despite everything we've gone through. That kicks off in about 3 weeks at time of recording. It's going to be a blast. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about MLR's new referee review system, or as I'll probably refer to it in this video, RRS. So let's get into what exactly RRS is and what it entails. Here we have the press release from Major League Rugby announcing the referee review system. Major League Rugby introduces referee review system into competition. In-stadium analysts will reduce game disruption, enhance transparency, and bring fans inside officiating reviews. Major League Rugby announced today that it will introduce a referee review system, RRS, into competition during 2026. These changes represent the first of their kind for a major rugby league and reflect MLR's vision to produce the best product for fans across the world. It wouldn't be the first time that MLR has kind of been a lab for new rules and regulations. MLR must have been one of the first to introduce the 20-minute red card, sort of trialing that a few years ago, and now we're seeing that all over the world. Seeing in Test rugby now, most recently. It wouldn't surprise me if this was another thing that World Rugby will be keeping their eyes on to see how this goes, with the incentive of possibly roll it out further afield from MLR. The RRS will replace the television match official with an in-stadium replay operator, ISRO, which will enhance real-time decision-making and ensure consistency across matches. The on-field referee team, headed by the centre referee, will remain the primary authority for match control, and RRS will support and enable the on-field team to make better, more accurate decisions. So this is why at the start of the video I said MLR's replacing TMO, sort of. TMO isn't going away, they're changing scope, really. So there's no longer going to be a official, a qualified referee sitting in an office with a billion screens away from the game. There's going to be an IRSO in stadium on site with replays available to show the referee team and to broadcast on the big screens within stadiums. So there is still going to be a video replay operator. It's just going to be on site now, rather than, I think there were 2 studios in Dallas and Indianapolis, I think, where TMOs usually were set, along with the commentary team. I'm pretty sure the commentary teams are now going to be on site as well for 2026, which is a huge change and a huge plus. This change will speed up the game, ensuring fans spend less time waiting for reviews and more time enjoying the match, whether they are watching it in person or on a broadcast. So I'm getting to it later in the video, but I'm a bit skeptical about that, about how much it will actually speed up the game, but that will depend on, the number of reviews, the average length of a review, yada, yada, yada. Then they have a quote here from Luke Rogan. This move from the old TMO to an in-stadium replay operator is a massive step forward for MLR. The RRS keeps decision-making where it belongs with the on-field team, while giving us smarter, faster support in real time. Now, for those of you who don't know, Luke Rogan is a ref in MLR. He has been for a fair few years. He's probably going to be quite biased, because I doubt that Major League Rugby would have pursued this and trialed it and introduced it without the input of their referee teams. So it's likely that Luke is in favor of this anyway. So just bear that in mind. But what he's saying does make sense and is valid. Under this change, the on-field referee can request assistance, or a team may challenge, get that in a minute, a decision if it believes a clear or obvious infringement may have occurred. The referee will signal for a review and address the in-stadium crowd and broadcast with the initial call on the field. So I think, how we're all used to sort of a TMO thing like that. There's going to be something similar. It might be the same, might be different. We'll have to wait and see. And they will, similar to in other sports in North America, the NFL, the NHL, they'll, go to the center, they'll announce it. We are reviewing for an offside call. We are reviewing for a potential knock on. Stuff like that. What is new as part of RRS is team challenges are being introduced to Major League Rugby. Teams will be allowed 2 challenges per game. Not crazy. And if either of the team's challenges are successful, they will retain that challenge. An unsuccessful challenge will result in the loss of a challenge, and teams cannot challenge previously reviewed situations. Duh. So that means, team will start with 2 challenges. Let's say they get the first one right. They'll still have 2 challenges. Say they challenge again, get that call wrong. The referee goes, no, actually, I don't agree. I'll stick with my on-field decision. Then they'll be reduced to 1 challenge for the rest of the game. The team captain will initiate a challenge with a clear statement of what, when, and where the incident his team wishes to challenge occurred. So, team captain will say, hello, sir, I want to challenge a call for a knock on this ruck, for example. Back to the in-stadium replay operator, every ISRO will be a neutral, league-certified rugby analyst with officiating experience and knowledge of rugby law. Additionally, each replay will be reviewed on the Jumbotron or pitchside monitor. So, like I said, the replays will be broadcast on the screen for fans to see and the referee as well. If for whatever reason the stadium doesn't have access to a Jumbotron, there will be a little TV that will see, think football or soccer. For VAR, they go over and look in a little screen in the corner. It'll be like that. The referee review system will be tested during preseason matches before debuting in week 1. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why they would announce it if it wasn't going to start bang on when the season kicks off. Then we have an announcer video for this with Nigel Owens, of all people. I'm not quite sure why he's in a bubble bath, but Nigel Owens is in MLR gear. That's pretty cool. I know he's pretty big into his farming in Wales, so, I think this is probably shot on location at his farm. Not sure why he's having a bath. Thanks, Nigel. And moving on to another release. Again, MLR introduces the RRS. At Major League Rugby, we're committed to bringing the best brand of rugby to our growing fan base across the country and world. That's why we're making a big shift in one key area of competition. Wouldn't be showing you this if it didn't have more information. Don't worry, I'm not going to read the entire thing again. The new format won't keep video reviews from happening. That's key. MLR is pushing to say this will speed the game up, this is better, this will streamline things, it will make games quicker. It doesn't actually say it's going to remove video reviews completely, which is why, again, I was like, you're not really removing TMO, you're just kind of adjusting it. Video reviews are still going to happen. This is just refining that process to reduce game disruption. And it goes on to say that here. The ultimate goal of RRS is to speed up the game and ensure fans are spending less time waiting on reviews. It does explicitly say it here, which is what I was going to say. A team challenge is similar to a coach's challenge in the NFL, where a coaching staff member in the technical area will throw a team challenge flag before the next restart. The team captain of that team will clearly identify the specific incident being challenged. So while the last release said, the team captain will do it, team challenge, this is actually saying how the team challenge will work, either via the captain or a flag. Well, I'm fine with the captain being able to challenge a call. And you know how messages are always sent to players via the water boys or anything like that. I think the off the field staff could say, send a message on to the captain and say, we want to challenge something. But we'll get into that later on. It might not be possible for reasons we'll get into later. I don't think I like the idea of flags. It's just basically making rugby the same as American football. People might like that. American football's clearly big in the States with the NFL and the frigging Super Bowl, for goodness sake. But I'm not personally particularly fond of football. Maybe that's just a personal preference. I don't know. I'd rather just see, a team captain being able to challenge, or someone from the sideline. I don't think there's a necessity to have a flag, but that's just me. It again says here, similar to college and NFL football reviews. So it does seem like this is sort of a way to align MLR with football and what football fans are used to seeing. I'm not sure how I like that and how it's being sort of sold as it's a way to speed the game up, but really sneaking in with just footballifying it. But I don't know. That's, again, that maybe that's just me. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that, but I think it should, maybe not be hidden in the small print. Another tidbit of new news: we knew that unsuccessful challenges will result in the loss of that challenge. In addition, any unsuccessful challenge between the 35th minute and the end of the first half, or after the 75th minute and before the end of the game, will result in the forfeiture of all remaining team challenges. I guess this is a way for teams not to use the team challenge mechanic as a timeout. Um, but I think we might still see that anyway. I think the idea is, let's say something happens in the 76th minute and there's a team with both challenges left. They review it. They're allowed to review it, but if it's unsuccessful, as in, they have to have a decent case to actually review something. If it's unsuccessful, they will lose both of their remaining challenges and be left with none. That could be huge if it happens near the half time, because that means they'll have no challenges for the second half and they'll have to rely on the referee reviewing it themselves. Again, something here that wasn't on the last release. Any attempt by a player or member of respected team's coaching staff to pressure the referee into initiating a review will result in a warning. That makes sense. You can't essentially try and get away with a free challenge. This is because I guess in previous times they'll just be like, if there was something, the TMO would check it. And we've seen being able to hear referees, they'll say if there was anything, the TMO will get it. They won't necessarily be able to do that anymore because the ISRO, they might be able to see it, but they can't actually interfere with the game. So we might see more teams trying to trigger a review, but the MLR are dumping down right now and saying that's not allowed. Only incidents that occur within 2 phases of play can be reviewed, with the exception of violations of Law 9. Law 9, I'm pretty sure, is foul. Oh, it says right here, which indicate foul play. Incidents that can be reviewed within 2 phases of play include all sorts of things: scoring, offside, knock-ons, throw forward, full pass. I don't know why they've said it throw forward, but whatever. Tackle, I assume that's to check for a high tackle or a contact to the head. Offside. Touch, quick throw, and line out PK offences that I think that will be interfering with the jumper, for example. Clock will stop during each review. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Teams will be unable to substitute during the review. Again, doesn't really surprise anyone. After each match, the league will complete a post-match review to ensure compliance and track statistics from the RRS. I'm big on my statistics. Now, we'll get into this in a bit more detail later, but I'm really, really curious as to what this could mean. And finally, and I promise this is the last document I'm going to share with you, this is the procedure, protocol, whatever you want to call it, for the new RRS. So this outlines the purpose of the RRS to support accurate, timely, and transparent official decisions, as well as outlining the roles of the ISRO and the match review coordinator, oversight via the MLR director of match officials, ensuring compliance, post-match review, and statistics tracking. So, like I mentioned a minute ago, really interested in what this could mean. I'm hoping it will mean something, some sort of, I think the NBA do is it a 2-minute report or something? They go through any potentially contentious refereeing decisions. I'm hoping that the MLR will publish, like a 2-minute report on this is what was reviewed, this is why the decisions were made, and just publish that, throw it up online. That would be amazing for fans like myself, hardcore fans. You guys will probably be interested in too if you're watching a 15-minute video on how referee decisions are made in Major League Rugby. It means you're probably a diehard fan. I think I'm safe in saying that. Is more of an outline of the defining what 2 phases is. So you'll see there's an incident, let's say that's a line out. A team interfered with the other team's jumper, using that as an example again. Then there's a ruck. There's another ruck. That's the first phase in between the rucks. Then there's another phase. Then there's a try. This is actually a little bit confusing because I'm not sure if it's saying, this is phase 1, this is phase 2, there's the try. If you're at the try scoring point, can you only go back to phase 1 or can you go back to the incident? It's not necessarily immediately obvious, but a phase of play is defined in the laws of the game as a scrum, line out, ruck, or maul, so not a try, for example. So that's saying this isn't another phase, so you can go back to the incident here because it occurred within the last 2 phases. I think that's what it's going for. If we scroll down further, here's something I'm really, really interested in. I think it's under number 6. Yeah, post-match review and accountability. All reviews logged. Outcome, time, context, and decision rationale stored. Weekly debrief. ISRO, referee team, and director of match officials conduct joint review. I'm assuming that won't be made public. However, public report summary. Key reviews are summarized weekly for transparency. Although it doesn't actually mention it explicitly, it does say it's a public report, and I'm assuming these key reviews are going to be published weekly and sent out so fans can review them. That is brilliant. That is fantastic. That's transparency that Major League Rugby has been lacking and sort of applies across the board. They've been fairly murky in certain things, pretty much everything, but this is brilliant. Don't show me your stuff, don't worry. So the idea behind RRS is to speed up existing video reviews. Probably the idea is to reduce the number of them overall, as well as empowering the center referee and the assistant referees with the ultimate decision making. Although in the letter of the law they did have previously, it doesn't really work. Didn't really work that way in practice. They're giving that power back to the referees. They're hopefully trying to speed up the game probably for newer fans. Also trying to align MLR with football, with the flag system and the team challenges. I'm pretty down with the team challenges. I think that's a cool idea, and it isn't just in football; it's in any of the big four major sports. But the flag system is pretty much straight from NFL. That's something I've been a little bit skeptical on, as in I don't know exactly how much of an effect it's going to have on speeding up games, speeding up video reviews. But it's hard to say without actually seeing it happen. So I might have a better idea once the season kicks off. Major League Rugby in no way rushed this out. This is a very thoroughly thought about and thoroughly tested system, the RRS. I don't think they would have pursued it on a whim. I think it's a pretty serious concern among officials, probably, and likely among more casual fans. I tweeted out my concern, saying skeptical about how much exactly it's going to speed up games. And Brandon Sparks, who is with the MLR and who worked on this, formerly involved with the Utah Warriors, of course, said that wasn't cynical. It was well-earned skepticism. He said that both him and David Wilkinson, who's the director of match officials at MLR, have been working on that for roughly 9, probably close to 10 months now, running the tech in the background of games during the 2025 season. They also, as the tweet says, they got out of rugby and they were interviewing other sports around North America, cricket, NASCAR, baseball, other sports that implement video review quite a lot. And Brandon fully admits that, is it going to be perfect at the start? No. Are we committed to reviewing and adjusting as the season goes? Yes. So it's going to be a learning process. MLR even admit that, but they are open to refining it. Progress needs to have an opportunity for failure for learning moments. I think that's perfectly well put. We're confident we have the right amount of risk failure built in to refine this. So they're confident of where they are right now. They're confident they're in a place where they can roll it out, but it still will take time to perfect. And that comes back to one of my concerns, is how much is it actually going to speed it up? Well, a referee who reviews everything, they may be more likely to get more calls correct because they're relying on the reviews more. But that will slow games down. Games in general will be slower because reviews are used more. On the reverse of that, a referee that likes to kind of back themselves and more confident in their decisions will see faster games, but will they miss calls? Will they get calls wrong because they haven't relied on the review, or they haven't got the TMO in their ear saying, hey, you missed something? We'll have to wait and see. The balance is going to be somewhere in the middle between sweet spot of number of reviews and sweet spot of not missing calls. I mean, that's why the center ref has the assistant refs. We just have to rely on their judgment as professionals, of course. Refereeing is improving in MLR, so that's a good sign to kind of support this. Despite showing you all of this information, there's still a lot of unknowns we won't know until we see it in action. I hope you found this dive into the referee review system for MLR 2026. I hope you find it interesting. I hope you found it informative. Please let me know what you think, either in the comments below or on social media, wherever this is posted. I'd really like to get your thoughts. I think in general, it's a good idea. I like that they're trying things. It's a reset for the entire league in 2026, and this is a great opportunity for them to try stuff. Some of it might not stick. Some of it might take some time to adjust to, might take some time to perfect, but it's good that they're trying stuff. This is the perfect time to try things, and I am on board with the team challenge element. We'll see how the ISRO works in practice and whether we see a massive jump in non-calls. We'll have to find out. As I mentioned at the start, my name is James Dealey. I run the MLR Stats Instagram. You can find me there at MLR Stats. You can find me on Twitter or X at NA Rugby DB, or my personal at Jamdelay, Jamdelay. And of course, there is the website, narugbydb.com. That's going to have all kinds of stuff during the season, all kinds of articles, all kinds of posts, all kinds of info on every single player in the league. Please go check it out. Please tell your friends. It really helps me. I mean, if you want to subscribe here, you can. Don't upload very often, but when I do, I hope you enjoy them. And yeah, I'll see you next time, which I'm hoping won't be another 6 months. 3 weeks to go to the season starts. It's going to be a good one.